Welcome to The Affordable Future, the podcast that dives deep into the issues shaping our communities. Today, we're tackling a crisis that touches nearly everyone: housing affordability. Did you know that in many major cities, a person earning the median income would need to work over 80 hours a week just to afford a modest two-bedroom apartment? It's a stark reality that's forcing people to make impossible choices.
That's a staggering statistic. When we talk about housing affordability, what does that really mean? It's not just about having a roof over your head. Generally, housing is considered affordable if it costs no more than 30% of a household's gross income. Anything above that, and you're considered rent-burdened, which leaves less for food, healthcare, and savings.
Exactly. And the current crisis isn't just a blip. It's a pervasive national trend with local variations. We're seeing home prices and rents skyrocket in areas that were once considered attainable, pushing essential workers, young families, and even middle-income earners further and further away from stable housing. Today, we'll explore why this is happening, its far-reaching impacts, and most importantly, what solutions are on the table, from government policies to innovative community initiatives.
It's a complex web of issues, and I'm eager to unpack it with you. We'll be looking at everything from zoning laws and interest rates to the role of investors and the potential of new construction methods. So stick around as we try to make sense of the housing affordability crisis and what can be done to lessen its impact.
Let's start with the fundamentals. A primary driver is the imbalance between supply and demand. For decades, we simply haven't built enough housing to keep pace with population growth, especially in desirable urban and suburban areas. This is often exacerbated by restrictive zoning laws that limit density, making it difficult or impossible to build multifamily homes, apartments, or even accessory dwelling units. And then there's NIMBYism, not in my backyard, which often stalls or outright blocks new development.
That lack of construction creates a bidding war for existing homes, driving up prices. On the economic front, we've seen persistent inflation and rising interest rates, which make mortgages significantly more expensive, even if the sticker price of a home hasn't changed much. Meanwhile, wages for many workers haven't kept pace with the dramatic increases in housing costs over the past few decades. So even with a raise, people find themselves further underwater.
And we can't ignore the role of investment and speculation. Real estate has become a major asset class. Large investment firms, sometimes called REITs, are buying up thousands of single-family homes, often turning them into rentals and removing them from the market for individual buyers. We also see foreign investment and a significant amount of house flipping, where properties are bought, minimally renovated, and resold at a higher price, further inflating the market.
Adding to all of this are the rising costs of construction itself. There's a significant shortage of skilled labor in the construction trades, driving up wages. And the cost of essential materials like lumber, steel, and concrete has also seen dramatic increases, partly due to supply chain issues and global demand. Add to that the complex regulatory hurdles and permitting processes in many areas, and you have a perfect storm that makes building new homes, especially affordable ones, incredibly challenging and expensive.
The consequences of these rising costs are profound and far-reaching. For many, the dream of homeownership is becoming just that, a dream. The ability to build generational wealth through property is slipping away, particularly for younger generations and marginalized communities who may have less access to existing wealth. Saving for a down payment, which can be tens or even hundreds of thousands of dollars, feels insurmountable when rent consumes such a large portion of income.
And if you can't buy, you're facing incredible pressure in the rental market. Rents are climbing at alarming rates, far outpacing wage growth. This leads to a higher rent burden, where a disproportionate amount of income goes to rent, leaving families struggling to cover other basic needs like food, healthcare, and transportation. We're also seeing an increase in eviction rates as people fall behind on payments, creating instability and housing insecurity.
These economic pressures often force significant geographic shifts. As housing becomes unaffordable in certain areas, people are displaced, leading to gentrification in others. This can disrupt long-standing communities, break social ties, and impact local economies as businesses lose their customer base or struggle to find workers who can afford to live nearby. It fundamentally alters the social fabric of our cities and towns.
And the toll on mental and physical health cannot be overstated. Constant worry about keeping a roof over your head, the stress of frequent moves, or living in overcrowded or substandard conditions takes a massive mental and physical toll. Housing insecurity is directly linked to increased anxiety, depression, and a host of physical health problems. It's a foundational issue that impacts every other aspect of well-being.
So what can be done? Governments at all levels have a crucial role to play. One significant area is zoning reform. Many cities have outdated zoning laws that mandate single-family homes on large lots, which is incredibly inefficient. Encouraging denser development, allowing for duplexes, triplexes, and apartments in more areas, and making it easier to build accessory dwelling units, or ADUs, those backyard cottages or basement apartments, can significantly increase housing supply.
Beyond zoning, governments can actively incentivize the development of affordable housing. This can take many forms. Tax credits for developers who include a certain percentage of affordable units, direct subsidies to lower construction costs, or implementing inclusionary zoning policies that require a portion of units in new developments to be affordable. These measures help offset the higher costs of building for lower income populations.
Then there's the debate around rent control and stabilization. These policies aim to limit how much landlords can increase rent each year. While they can provide immediate relief and stability for tenants, critics argue they can disincentivize new construction and maintenance. Different models exist, from strict rent control to more flexible rent stabilization, and their effectiveness often depends on local context and how they are implemented.
Finally, direct financial assistance can be a lifeline. Housing vouchers, like Section 8, help low-income families afford housing in the private market. Down payment assistance programs can bridge the gap for first-time homebuyers struggling with the upfront costs. These programs directly address the affordability gap for individuals and families who may not benefit immediately from supply-side solutions. What are some of the more innovative approaches you're seeing?
That's a great question. Beyond traditional policy, there are some really exciting innovations emerging. Community land trusts, or CLTs, are a fantastic model. In a CLT, a nonprofit organization owns the land and then sells or leases the homes on that land to individuals at affordable prices. The trust maintains ownership of the land in perpetuity, ensuring the homes remain permanently affordable, even after resale. We're also seeing a resurgence in co-housing and cooperative living. These models involve intentional communities where residents share common spaces, resources, and responsibilities. This can significantly reduce the cost of living for individuals, as they share expenses for things like utilities, maintenance, and even meals. It fosters a strong sense of community too. On the construction side, modular and prefabricated housing hold immense potential. Building homes in factory settings allows for greater efficiency, reduced waste, and faster assembly on-site. This can dramatically lower construction costs and speed up the delivery of new housing units, helping to address the supply shortage more quickly.
And innovative financing is key. Models like rent-to-own schemes allow renters to build equity while they pay rent, eventually leading to ownership. Shared equity models, where a buyer and an investor, often a nonprofit or government agency, share ownership and the appreciation of the home, can also make home ownership more attainable for those with limited capital for a down payment.
It's not just up to governments. The private sector and nonprofit organizations are vital players. Developers can choose to build more diverse housing types, not just luxury condos, but also starter homes, townhouses, and affordable rental units. Incorporating affordability into market rate developments, perhaps through partnerships or incentives, is also crucial.
Nonprofit housing organizations are often on the front lines, developing affordable housing projects where the private market won't. They also play a critical role in advocacy, pushing for policies that support affordability and working directly with communities to create sustainable housing solutions. Their expertise and dedication are indispensable.
We're also seeing more employer-assisted housing programs. Companies, recognizing that housing costs impact their ability to attract and retain talent, are starting to offer assistance. This can range from down payment assistance and housing stipends to helping employees find affordable housing options or even developing housing near their workplaces.
And then there are advocacy groups. These organizations are essential for raising public awareness, lobbying policymakers, and holding stakeholders accountable. They bring community voices to the table and push for systemic change, ensuring that affordability remains a priority in housing discussions and decisions.
While systemic solutions are vital, individuals can also take proactive steps. Robust budgeting and financial planning are paramount. Understanding your income and expenses is the first step to identifying how much you can realistically afford for housing. For those aspiring to home ownership, creating a disciplined savings plan for a down payment, even a small one, is crucial. Explore first-time homebuyer programs and down payment assistance that might be available in your area.
Being open to different housing options can also make a big difference. This might mean considering roommates to share costs, opting for a smaller, more manageable home, or exploring neighborhoods that might be slightly further out but offer more affordability. Sometimes a longer commute is a trade-off for more stable and affordable housing.
It's also important to be aware of local resources. Many cities and counties offer rental assistance programs, tenant counseling services, and workshops on financial literacy and homeownership. Don't hesitate to research and utilize these support systems. They are there to help.
And finally, get involved locally. Attend community planning meetings, engage with your local housing authority or planning board, and voice your support for affordable housing initiatives. Collective action and informed advocacy at the local level can have a significant impact on shaping housing policies and development in your own community.
We've covered a lot today, from the complex root causes of the housing affordability crisis to a wide range of potential solutions. It's clear there's no single magic bullet. Addressing this challenge requires a multifaceted approach, involving collaboration between government, the private sector, nonprofits, and communities themselves.
Whether it's through zoning reform, innovative financing, supporting nonprofits, or adopting personal financial strategies, every piece matters. The goal is to create housing systems that are more equitable, sustainable, and accessible for everyone.
So, what can you do next? Educate yourself further on local housing issues, talk to your neighbors and elected officials, and support organizations working towards affordable housing solutions. Your voice and actions can contribute to meaningful change.
Ultimately, housing is more than just shelter. It's a fundamental human right and the bedrock of strong communities. Thank you for joining us on The Affordable Future. We hope this conversation has been insightful and empowering. Until next time.